Have you ever found yourself sitting quietly, maybe with a cup of tea in hand, and suddenly realized just how quiet the world around you feels? Maybe it's not the kind of quiet that brings peace. It's the kind that makes you wonder where everyone went. If you've ever felt this way, trust me, you're not alone. Loneliness is something that can sneak up on anyone, but after 70, it can feel especially heavy. Life changes, kids grow up and move away, friends retire to different places, or, sadly, some aren't with us anymore. And while these are all natural parts of life, they don't make it any easier when you find yourself feeling like you're missing that sense of connection. But here's the good news. Loneliness doesn't have to define your days. There are ways to feel happier, more connected, and even more fulfilled, no matter your age. In this video, we're going to explore 6 strategies that can help you reclaim joy and build meaningful connections again. These aren't complicated or expensive ideas. They're simple, practical steps you can start taking today. So grab a cozy blanket, sit back, and let's dive into the first one together. The first thing I want to talk about is something that might sound surprising: rediscovering your sense of purpose. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Purpose? Isn't that for younger people? But hear me out. Purpose isn't just about having a job or raising a family. It's about finding something that gives your day meaning, something that makes you excited to get out of bed in the morning. After 70, it's easy to feel like your purpose years are behind you. But the truth is, purpose evolves as we do. It's never too late to find something new that lights you up. Let me share an example. A few years ago, I met a woman named Margaret at a local community center. She was in her mid-70s and had spent decades working as a teacher. When she retired, she told me she felt like she'd lost her identity. Teaching had been such a big part of her life, and without it, she didn't know who she was anymore. But then, one day, she decided to volunteer at the library, helping kids with their reading. At first, she wasn't sure if she'd enjoy it, but pretty soon, she was hooked. Those kids gave her a reason to smile every day, and she loved watching them grow and learn. Margaret found her purpose in a completely new way, and it transformed her outlook on life. So how can you find your own sense of purpose? Start by asking yourself what you enjoy doing, or what you used to enjoy but haven't done in a while. Maybe it's gardening, painting, writing letters, or mentoring someone younger. Or maybe it's something completely new, like learning to play an instrument or joining a book club. The key is to find something that makes you feel alive, even if it's just for an hour or two a week. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It just has to matter to you. Now, let's talk about another powerful strategy: staying physically active. I know, exercise might not sound like the most exciting solution to loneliness, but hear me out. Physical activity isn't just good for your body. It's amazing for your mind and spirit too. When you move your body, your brain releases chemicals called endorphins, which are like little happiness boosters. Plus, being active often gets you out of the house and into spaces where you can meet other people. Think about it. Whether it's a gentle yoga class, a walk around the park, or even dancing to your favorite oldies tunes in your living room, movement connects you to the world around you. And it doesn't have to be anything intense, just enough to get your blood flowing and your spirits lifted. For instance, my neighbor George started taking daily walks around his neighborhood after he retired. At first, it was just something to pass the time, but over the months, he started bumping into other regular walkers. They'd chat about the weather, their grandkids, or the latest community events. Before he knew it, those walks became his social highlight of the day. If walking isn't your thing, there are so many other options. You could try swimming, tai chi, or even chair exercises if mobility is a concern. The point is to find something that feels good and fits your lifestyle. And remember, it's not about competing or pushing yourself too hard. It's about enjoying the process and reaping the benefits of staying active. Now that we've covered rediscovering purpose and staying physically active, let's move on to another important piece of the puzzle: nurturing existing relationships. Even if you feel like your circle has gotten smaller over the years, the connections you do have are worth investing in. Sometimes, all it takes is a little effort to reignite those bonds and remind yourself how much you mean to the people in your life. Let's talk about how to do that next. Nurturing existing relationships might sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful ways to combat loneliness. Think about the people who are already in your life: family members, old friends, neighbors, or even acquaintances you haven't seen in a while. These are the people who can remind you that you're not alone, even when life feels quiet. The key is to take small, intentional steps to reconnect and strengthen those bonds. Let me share a story that really drives this point home. A few months ago, I was talking to a man named Harold who had recently turned 75. He told me he'd been feeling more isolated than ever, even though his kids and grandkids lived relatively close by. When I asked him why, he admitted that he didn't want to bother them. They were busy with work, school, and their own lives. But then, one day, his granddaughter called out of the blue just to say hello. That one phone call sparked something in Harold. He realized how much he missed hearing their voices and sharing stories. So, he decided to reach out more often, sending a quick text here, making a short phone call there. It wasn't long before his family started responding in kind. They began visiting more, inviting him to events, and even asking for his advice on things. Harold told me it made him feel like he was part of their lives again, and that meant the world to him. The lesson here? Don't wait for others to make the first move. Sometimes, all it takes is a little effort from your side to reignite those connections. Start small, send a card, leave a voicemail, or drop by with a plate of cookies. If technology is your thing, try video calling or sending photos through email or social media. The goal isn't to overwhelm anyone. It's to show them you care and that you're thinking of them. And trust me, they'll appreciate it more than you might realize. Now, let's talk about another important strategy: embracing new opportunities to meet people. This might feel a little intimidating at first, especially if you're used to keeping to yourself or sticking with the same circle of friends. But stepping outside your comfort zone, even just a little, can open doors you didn't know existed. There are so many places where you can connect with others who share your interests or experiences. Community centers, senior groups, churches, libraries, and even online forums are great places to start. Take my friend Evelyn, for example. She had always been shy and preferred spending time alone. But after her husband passed away, she found herself craving companionship. One day, she saw a flyer for a beginner's art class at the local community center. She hesitated at first. What if no one talked to her? What if she wasn't any good at painting? But she decided to give it a try anyway. To her surprise, the class turned out to be full of friendly, welcoming people who were eager to chat and share tips. Over time, Evelyn formed friendships with several classmates, and they even started meeting up outside of class for coffee or museum visits. She told me it was like discovering a whole new chapter of her life, one she never expected but wouldn't trade for anything. If joining a class or group doesn't feel right for you, there are other ways to meet new people too. Volunteering is a fantastic option because it gives you a chance to help others while also connecting with like-minded individuals. Whether it's serving meals at a shelter, walking dogs at an animal rescue, or helping out at a local charity shop, volunteering can bring a deep sense of fulfillment and camaraderie. Another idea is to explore hobbies or activities that naturally involve social interaction, like joining a bowling league, attending a book club, or participating in a gardening group. The possibilities are endless, and the best part is that you get to choose what resonates with you. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's often overlooked when we think about loneliness: the power of gratitude. You might be wondering, what does being grateful have to do with feeling less lonely? Well, it turns out, quite a lot. Practicing gratitude can shift your focus from what's missing in your life to what's already there, and that can make a huge difference in how you feel day to day. Think about it this way. When we're feeling lonely, it's easy to dwell on the negatives: the empty chair at the dinner table, the silence in the house, the lack of invitations. But gratitude helps us flip that script. Instead of focusing on what we don't have, we start noticing the things we do have. The warm sun on our face during a morning walk, the laughter of a grandchild over the phone, the kindness of a neighbor who stops by to check on us. These moments may seem small, but they add up, creating a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. One exercise I love recommending is keeping a gratitude journal. It's as simple as writing down 3 things each day that you're thankful for. They don't have to be big things. Even noticing the beauty of a sunset or savoring a delicious meal counts. Over time, this practice trains your brain to look for the positives, which can help counteract feelings of loneliness and sadness. Plus, it gives you something uplifting to reflect on whenever you need a boost. Speaking of reflection, let's move on to another important strategy: learning to enjoy your own company. While building connections with others is essential, there's also incredible value in becoming comfortable with solitude. This might sound counterintuitive, but hear me out. When you learn to appreciate your own presence, you stop relying solely on external sources for happiness. Instead, you create a foundation of contentment that stays with you, no matter what's happening around you. Let's dive into how you can cultivate this skill next. Learning to enjoy your own company is like giving yourself a gift that keeps on giving. It's about finding peace in your own skin and learning to appreciate the moments you have to yourself. Now, I know this can sound easier said than done, especially if you're used to being surrounded by people or constantly busy with responsibilities. But solitude doesn't have to be lonely. It can be an opportunity to reconnect with yourself and rediscover what makes you happy. One of the best ways to start embracing solitude is by creating rituals that bring you joy. Maybe it's brewing a cup of tea and sitting by the window with a good book. Or perhaps it's taking a few minutes each morning to write in a journal, jotting down your thoughts, or sketching out dreams for the day ahead. These small, intentional acts help you carve out space for yourself, where you can simply be without needing to entertain or explain yourself to anyone else. Over time, these moments become something you look forward to, a chance to recharge and reflect. I once met a woman named Ruth who had mastered the art of enjoying her own company. After her husband passed away, she found herself alone for the first time in decades. At first, she struggled. She missed having someone to talk to at the end of the day, someone to share meals with. But slowly, she began experimenting with activities she'd always wanted to try but never had the time for. She started painting landscapes, listening to podcasts while knitting scarves for her grandchildren, and even taking long drives to explore nearby towns. What surprised her most was how much she grew to love those quiet hours spent in her own company. She told me, "I realized I wasn't just waiting for life to happen around me. I could create my own happiness." Now, let's talk about one final strategy that ties everything together: seeking professional support when needed. Sometimes, loneliness isn't just a passing feeling. It can be a sign of something deeper, like depression or anxiety. And there's absolutely no shame in reaching out for help. Talking to a therapist or counselor can provide a safe space to process your emotions and develop tools to manage them. Many communities also offer support groups specifically for seniors, which can be a wonderful way to connect with others who truly understand what you're going through. If the idea of therapy feels intimidating, start by talking to your doctor. They can guide you toward resources that fit your needs and preferences. There are even online counseling services now, which make it easier than ever to access support from the comfort of your home. Remember, asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It shows that you're committed to taking care of yourself and improving your quality of life. As we wrap up, I want to remind you of the 6 strategies we've discussed: rediscovering your sense of purpose, staying physically active, nurturing existing relationships, embracing new opportunities to meet people, practicing gratitude, and learning to enjoy your own company. Each of these steps is simple, yet powerful, and they all work together to help you feel happier and more connected. The beauty of these strategies is that you don't have to tackle them all at once. Start with 1 or 2 that resonate with you, and build from there. Small changes can lead to big results over time. I hope this video has given you some ideas and encouragement to take action. If any of these strategies strike a chord with you, or if you've already tried something similar, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Sharing your experiences not only helps others feel less alone, but also reminds us all that we're part of a larger community, even when it might not feel that way. Before we go, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. Your presence here means so much, and I truly believe that every single one of you deserves to live a life filled with joy, connection, and meaning, no matter your age. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. We'll continue sharing tips and stories designed to help you thrive in this beautiful stage of life. Here's to living your best life at any age, and to finding happiness in the connections, big and small, that make life worth living. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.